Why is NIO so successful right now? Oh my God. I just got back from lunch with my wife, and on the way back, we saw 3 Envoy L90s, man, and 1 Firefly car, and a whole bunch of NIOs. It was too much to count. And wow, NIO is so successful. Why has NIO all of a sudden become so successful? NIO CEO has a clip at the end. Well, you can watch that at the end of this video. But check out the shirt I'm wearing. This is the 318 Power Journey shirt to celebrate the fact that you can swap all the way from Chengdu and all the way to the base of Mount Everest. So you can basically go there all by battery swapping. So from any city in China to any other city in China, you can go there just by battery swapping. So that's how incredible battery swapping is. But it's not battery swapping that has really made NIO so successful, because battery swapping, they've had that for several years. And, you know, just a few months ago, NIO's stock price was half of what it is right now. So why has NIO become all of a sudden so successful? And that is because they have stolen Li Auto's moat and outdid Li Auto. And basically, yeah. So here in China, a lot of people have been talking about this, how a lot of cars, especially these hybrids and ERUVs, they have big TV screens, big fridge, but these are all zeros. And at the very front, the most important thing is the safety. The safety is the one. If you don't have safety, it's all just zero. It's nothing. But then if you have all these things along with safety, then it becomes like 100 or 1000. So what NIO has done, they finally listened to the customer, right? What the customer wanted. The customer wants those big TV screens, big fridges, big sofa. NIO did it in their cars, and even better, right? Li Auto had that, and that has been tremendously successful for them. But then it's easily replicated. Their moat is easily replicated. Everybody can do it. There's nothing preventing someone from adding a big TV screen into their cars. That's why you see Li Auto's sales slide, because now if customers want a big TV screen in their car, comfortable sofa and fridge, they don't have to pick a Li Auto. They can pick other guys. And then on top of that, because NIO has always been prioritizing safety first, then you see that there's that strong one at the front, and then you have a TV that adds a digit of 0, and then you have the big fridge adds a 0, and then on top of that, you have the comfortable sofa, the chairs, that's another 0, and then for NIO exclusive, you also have battery swap, and that adds another 0. So you basically have now what's the perfect product that everybody wants. Because before, people had to compromise, right? If I want to choose battery swap, I choose a NIO that has battery swap. There's convenience driving, but then it doesn't have that big screen, and my child or my wife, kids, family can't be really entertained. And then the fridge isn't as big as some of the other guys. So they had to sort of compromise. And then, of course, no 900 volt. But now with the Envoy L90 and the ES8, both of these cars, 900 volt, they both have large screens, large fridges. That's a perfect formula for success. Along with battery swap, now it's kind of like a unbeatable territory, because for them, the competitors, to really one up NIO, they can't just offer the same things NIO has. They have to offer something different, right? So they have to offer something better than battery swap and plus something else to really convince people to buy their product instead. And then on top of that, you see those massive frunk that the Envoy L90 and the ES8 has, which is also a huge selling feature that some of the competitors don't have. So in terms of just the product strength, wow, absolutely blown out the park. All right, everybody is inferior in terms of the product strength and features. And that's something that has been lacking before, is that the product is good in certain aspects, but it's sort of lacking in some other aspects. But now, with those products right now, you don't have any more compromises. It's basically the car has no compromise. Safety, it's very safe. Whereas with some of the other guys, you have big screen, TV, fridge, sofa, but not very safe, right? But with NIO, they don't compromise on safety. So that's covered. Entertainment's covered, all right? Like the convenience to get electricity is also covered with battery swap. So you have the ultimate car with no compromises, and also big storage space and interior room comfort. So you have the perfect product. And also the products aren't expensive. They're not expensive. The ES8, much cheaper than before. The Enva L90, very affordable. And of course, a lot of people sort of don't really fully understand BaaS. And I think that's a good thing, because BaaS, you're renting the battery, right? And the purchase price is much cheaper. But of course, you have to pay monthly for that rented battery. But then on paper, it looks much cheaper, like to buy the car. So like for an Enva L90, it can go down to like under 200k RMB, which is just incredible value. And of course, with the ES8, if you rent the battery, your invoice price is much lower. You pay less taxes. Also a huge benefit. And other guys can't do that. So, in terms of the product strength, NIO has really come out with blockbuster products. That's why they're selling so well. So many features everybody wanted, finally offering them. And then customers are pulling the trigger, right? And of course, all they have to do right now is gradually roll it to the rest of the lineup. ES7 next year, ES9, the L80 next year. And after that, the ES6, EC6, ET5, ET5T, and then gradually you're going to have a whole portfolio of cars that meet all the customer needs. And customers, basically, they just choose what they like. They don't have to make any compromises, which is what you ideally want. So, yeah, finally, NIO has listened, and listening to the customer really, paid off. Because remember, before, everybody, NIO owners, including me, we wanted a big screen on the top over here. But NIO CEO said he wouldn't want his kids to watch TV in the car. It's bad for the eyes. So no screen, no TV screen over here. But a lot of customers complain, like, if you don't want your kid to watch it, then retract it, right? Having it is a different story, right? Having it and not using it is a different story. So glad that he finally listened. And yeah, so right now, NIO is doing really well, Sometimes you just have to let the market decide what kind of product is the best, and then just satisfy the customers, right? You satisfy the customers, they're going to pull the trigger, right? So that's also very, very nice. And of course, the amount of battery swap stations is also really helping out in terms of the convenience factor. A lot of people, especially gasoline car owners, a lot of ES8 buyers are actually first-time EV buyers. They used to be gasoline vehicle owners. But then, of course, battery swap offers similar convenience. So there's actually no compromise switching from a gas car to a NIO, specifically a NIO, because of that. And then on top of that, you also have the great features that people want: the big screen, safety, and of course, fridge. So customers are definitely pulling the trigger, which is really nice. NIO is very, very successful nowadays. Yeah. All right. Watch that clip. As always, stay safe, stay healthy. Peace out.
We will definitely persist whether we aim to become an operating enterprise, or whether we maintain sustainability as our foundational approach, or whether we firmly commit to investing in fundamental research and development. This approach is admittedly slow to show results, but we're still willing to put in the solid work. We're firmly committed to not taking shortcuts. That's our way. I think some principles should be maintained, but other areas need to change. For example, we used to only have food shops and home cooking, no refrigerators. So for the L60, we're developing the premium second generation 52-litre model. For sofas, we're developing the new Samarin Road line, aiming for excellence. This shows we're willing to change and we do adapt when needed. Some service aspects need improvement and we'll address those issues. These represent our shared future vision. We'll maintain what works well. Areas where people have complaints will definitely improve continuously. So this year, from the company's operational perspective,